I'm putting this on YouTube, by the way. I have to. This is just too Joe Rogan drunk driving. So, yes, we salute you, Joe. I don't think this is the case, and I think Joe's in a real hole here, and it started with the Spotify deal. He told a little lie. He thought that no one would care. He didn't care. He got the $100 million. You could lie here. You could lie there. And now it's snowballing. And you could see the man sweating. We're going to see him sweating today. He could be done. He could never pick up steam again. He's out of it. Let's forget how bad the studio is and forget the episodes. He's shook. He ain't the same Rogan. He didn't anticipate how hard it is to uproot your whole life and move it over there and lie to all the fans, and who cares what the fans think. And it's showing in his eyes, his skin, his blood, his sweat. This could be, like predicted, the end of the Joe Rogan experience. And what an experience has been. I've been around for many ends. I mean, every show I've made fun of ends here on this show. Joey Diaz ended. This show, Nobody Likes Onions, has ended. Chris D'Elia has ended. Brian Callen has ended. The list goes on and on. If I don't like you, your show's probably going to end, because me and the truth have a lot in common. So what we're going to do here today is show you a really dastardly story. We're going to put the pieces together, and we're going to start here. Now, the audio and video and the set issues, they're not minor, but they're not the only problem. Joe's behavior is shot. I mean, he's really acting like a fucking moron, and he didn't think. He just thinks you could just uproot your whole life, change everything, and then start the first show in the new studio with Adam Curry, a guy you've met once. What a stupid move. You're in an uncomfortable space to begin with. You just moved. You're probably tired. You didn't do any practice episode. The studio looks and sounds like shit. You're shook. So you have Adam Curry come on to throw you off even more. Wait till you hear what actually happened. We have the behind-the-scenes scoop of this very episode. You're not going to believe it. And I didn't really know this about him. He's a little asshole. And he performed horribly on this episode. We're going to show you that. And many of you have seen how horribly he performed. But we listened to his podcast, which aired 2 days before this, where he goes over everything that happened here. And he throws Joe right under with the train, pretending it was Joe's fault that this all went off the rails, when it was both of their faults. They both suck. The studio sucks. Everything about it sucks. Would you like to hear it's audio only? We're going to go to Adam Curry. A lot of people haven't heard this. This is shocking, and we're going to learn a lot of great stuff here. It's episode 1274, Thugs on a Plane.
And
I hate him.
Based on partially a conversation I think you and I had, it was decided it was a good idea to not be the guy from California who comes into Texas and starts his show, and the first thing he does is flaunts our laws by smoking big joints in his studio.
Uh-oh.
Really good idea.
Yeah, I thought, you know, we're very cool here, but maybe just hold off a little bit before any of that, before people be cool.
No, I want to make it clear. It is weird that Joe is openly smoking in the studio. The weed is illegal in Texas, but he's also, more importantly, drinking. And I want you to remember this. He's drinking a lot of whiskey and a lot of weed. Listen to this story he's about to tell of what Rogan did because he was so nervous for his big day. Listen to this. This is not the Rogan we know. This is a new Rogan. He's scared, weak, weird. He's turning into Joey Coco. Watch this.
Cool with that, and we talk about guns and stuff. You don't really want that mixture connected.
Listen to this, guys.
So that's okay. But Joe has a process that I'm now more aware of. I think he's a bigger pothead than I am. And before he gets into these hours of conversation, he likes to prepare. So yes.
I don't want to jump to the end. No. I don't want you to stop talking about it. I'm so curious about what was the total length of the show.
Oh, 4 hours.
He did a show. I was looking at his shows.
5.5.
We're going to get back to
5.5 hours with that.
So I thought you might.
I do 5.5 hours is the intro. Guys, stop. I'm so sick of these guys. Oh, he did 4 hours once. That's a short show for me. Oh, but my show's harder. If anyone wants to know, having a chit-chat bullshit conversation about how wolves kill chickens is much easier than what I do. Every second of the show is packed with scandal, excitement, thrill. Joe just sits there and has the same conversation over and over again. We should not applaud that. We should be applauding me, which you do. So thank you, but tell everybody about how incredible I'm getting. Listen to the rest.
Break the record before, four's a long one.
We had to go to dinner. 4 was very long.
We had to go to dinner. Now listen to this. We had to go to dinner afterwards. Keep that in mind. So he shows up 2.5 hours early. He shows up on time. Spent 2.5 hours dealing with the headphones. Then they do a 3-hour show. Then they go to dinner, making that 12-hour day. Couldn't they just be like, I think we don't need to go to dinner now? Imagine going to dinner with somebody you've been with for 8 hours already. I'm ready for a new guy. It's okay. I get it. You had dinner plans, but you've been there for 8-9 hours. Maybe go, we'll get the dinner next time. Let's hear more.
Is cameras rolling?
During dinner?
That would have been better.
No, we were pretty tired by then.
Pretty tired.
So Joe likes to, I'm like, hey, man, listen, we should definitely smoke before we start. I mean, that'll get us going. Now, Joe has been moving, so he hasn't smoked anything in a week. He breaks out this blunt.
I want to smoke.
And Joe is like, he takes off. He's lit. And
he's lit. Travis Scott.
Like, oh. So we had to wait like half an hour just so everything could kind of get into the right space.
Joe got so high he couldn't do his own show.
Oh, really, dude? And he didn't even do any karaoke.
No. So Joe got so high, he goes, we have to wait. So he made this guy wait for a half hour before Joe felt ready. So Joe can't even handle tweed anymore. Yep, you're hearing it here first. What did they say? He's lit!
And then we start, and I mean, Joe was like an ADD nut job in the first 45 minutes. I'd start a story, he'd be like, all right, Adam Curry, but what about this? I'm like, whoa, and I'm barbecued, so I'm trying to like just stay, I'm trying to remember what I want to talk about.
Joe was like an ADD what? What do they call him? An ADD nut job? Joe was like an ADD nut job. I couldn't keep him in one place. Listen to how he describes this situation.
But I wanted to say, hey, man, your listeners are so great. They're quality people. We see them over at our place. And so I was getting bits and pieces out, and then he just shifted something. And then within 5 minutes of the beginning of the show, vaccines. I'm like, holy crap. We're going to sit here like two baked morons and talk about vaccines within the first half hour of this episode. So that was very, very fun.
So he's throwing him under the bus, but it turns out I think he brought up the vaccines. So he's trying to recreate this because he knows his fans are going to be like, dude, you were off. And he knows he was off. But so was Joe. She's trying to pin it all on Joe to get out of this. And that's why we're getting this behind the scenes story.
But is he like forfeiting his friendship with Joe right now?
No.
Or does he just know Joe will never hear this?
I could barely find this podcast the second time I tried to look for it. Joe ain't listening. He's not going to ever hear. And by the way, this guy's so nervous. He doesn't care about that. He cares about saving his ass with his fans who are probably like, dude, you screwed the fuck up, because it's been in his head the whole time. So he's trying to pre-tell you. Remember, this came out 2 days before Joe's show.
Wow.
He's trying to get it in his fans' head like, hey, listen, if I acted weird, it's because of this. Okay? But meanwhile, he's still giving us the scooperoo. Let's hear some more.
Focused, very concentrated, trying to get him towards other stuff.
Listen to that. Joe, I was focused, very concentrated. I was trying to get Joe towards other stuff. Illegal! So you were in your head trying to... You're the guest. If Joe wants to talk about Joey Diaz's nards for 3 hours, you sit there and laugh and say, wolves, huh? Yes. You're not in charge. So you're skewing the Joe Rogan show to what you want to talk about? because Joe was off the handle. I don't pay for Spotify for this.
And either this is a fantastic episode where you just can't wait to see what's coming out of our mouths next, or it's quite possible one of those episodes where people go, what are they talking about?
These two guys.
What are... But, you know, when you bring something up with Joe, like the Federal Reserve, and he says, yeah, what I heard about Jekyll Island. And so I said, okay, well, let me tell you about Jekyll Island, the Federal Reserve, when it was created. And then within 3 minutes, okay, Adam Curry, and then he just goes off in some other direction. So after about an hour and a half, we're in sync and we're talking about stuff, you know.
And it took an hour and a half to get in sync, he says. I posted the link. Some people were asking for it. There's the link to the show. Send it to everyone that Joe knows.
Sorry, did you say something?
I was counting.
Here's
counting.
So
cars in the Zephyr.
What do we have?
Yeah.
8 cars, slow moving, regular, any bonus?
No, full speed.
Okay, I have to add to that. I have 2 backup. Just let me know right now so we can continue.
Connor, this is what I'm looking for. I'm going to tell you right now. There's a part where they describe how right after the show, Joe drove him to dinner. This is what we're looking for. This is what we couldn't find. Now, we're going to see the episode. We're going to watch Joe drink as much whiskey as I drink. I could handle it. He can't. Joe's smashed. Smoking weed, drinking whiskey. And apparently, they go right to dinner after when they're tired. So, Joe drinks whiskey to the end of the show. They go hop in Joe's car. Joe drives him and this guy. First week in Austin, he's smoking weed against Austin's rules. He's also drunk driving to the restaurant. I mean, I'm not one to call the DA every time I hear something like this, but come on! Why is he allowed to break the same laws that George Floyd died for? And meanwhile, George Floyd, the whole country's turned upside down because of George's neck. And Joe Rogan's allowed to break even worse laws and give him $100 million? That is white privilege, Oprah. Let's hear some more, and maybe they'll get the time code. Jules.
Yeah, they said it's a minute or 2 after this.
Okay, so well, let's keep playing. Going. I'm going to keep playing.
2 bathroom breaks during the show.
There we go.
Here's more.
And
4 hours is like
it's long.
And yes, somebody in the chat, look at this. I'm reading his message for free because I'm not an asshole. Mike said Joe was a reckless driver 2 weeks ago. Yes, I did. And I have footage of Joe peeling away in 911 turbos, going 70 miles an hour down the Sunset Strip. Why is he allowed to break every law in the country, but we all go to jail if we do? I don't know. I mean, I would say it's time for Joe to pay. Listen to this.
We wrap up the show, and Joe says, we got to go to dinner.
We wrap up the show. Joe says, I got to go to dinner. Let's hear this. Now, remember, we're going to watch this show. I hope I'm hearing this correctly. I could be off. But didn't Joe drink like 15 whiskeys? He was slurring his words. He was so drunk. They were so high that they had to start later, but they continued smoking once they started drunk and high. You're in Texas. I don't think drunk driving is legal in Texas. I don't think weed is legal in Texas. Let's hear what happens.
Comedian buddy of his was in town. I forget the guy's name. Nia
Burr?
And he's currently at the Dave. Did you know that Dave Chappelle is doing basically a comedy club, I think, every weekend in Ohio? Outdoors?
Okay. Well, he lives in Ohio.
Yeah, I know he does. Dinner. I know. But he's got a lot. He's got, David Letterman, Jon Stewart, Bill Burr, all of these of the whole LA comedian scene. They're all out there every weekend doing shows. It's sold out for, the next 3 months.
You hear this? The whole world has to sit out because of COVID, but the celebrity comedians, they're not sitting out. They're going to the states that will allow it, and they're spreading COVID. Every one of these shows has spread the disease, they say. So isn't that something? You have to sit home. You can't work. You're worried about that eviction coming up. But Bill Burr, with $10 million, $20 million, $40 million in the bank, needs to go out and work because they ain't going to stop him. And that's something. That's very nice. Let's hear some more. This is going to get bad.
But they're actually doing shows. That. Yeah. I didn't know it. I didn't know anything about it.
Cheers.
And then you go to dinner with Joe Rogan. That's kind of rolling with the Rogan. He's, here, I'll drive. So we drive in his car.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Here I'll drive. We drive in his car. Joe Rogan, drunk, drives. 2 weeks. He's lived in Texas for 2 weeks. This is do this in your own town. It's fucking terrible. How many people die from drunk driving every year? Joe's above that. Joe's above. Look at this. So he won't wear a mask. Remember that? Putting lives at risk. He drunk drives. And we're going to show you how much he drank. We're going to do a counter on how many times he drank on that show. This is not good. Drunk driving, by the way, that's attempted murder. What do you call it? That's
Attempted
fucking
murder.
I
agree.
Murder.
I mean, and he's not 16.
This
He's
isn't
55.
funny. I know there's some people, there are yokels out there. You live in Kentucky, you can actually drunk drive, and they don't think it's a big deal because the roads are open.
Well, it's just a dirt road, and what's beside you is field, and
exactly.
you never cross another car.
So those people don't get it. They're like, drunk driving, we drunk drive, the police even allow. They don't get it. In cities, you really can't drunk drive. Your odds are like 8 out of 10 of killing someone in a city. In Austin even, that's a city. Drunk driving, I hope people know, because it's one of those things where I think a lot of people don't care about it, but then others are like, are you kidding me? It's like the worst thing you could do. So it's very bad, and especially it's all being let out in the open here. And
I know. How come he's telling everybody this, too?
Wait till you see how drunk Joe was on the show. And they went right after by Adam's accord. So, I don't know. This could be grounds for a lawsuit. I could be in the middle of a big thing. I'm putting this on YouTube, by the way. I have to. This is just too Joe Rogan drunk driving. Remember when I said that all the guys that I have suspicions about end up Callan. They're accusing him of rape. Chris D'Elia, they're accusing him of underage stuff and all that. He's gone. Joey Diaz, they've accused him. He's moved to Jersey. Could my biggest whale yet be the next to fall? Wow, if Joe Rogan falls, I need
what
to
if
be...
he gets busted for a DUI?
Well, I mean, he's probably going to keep it safe after this, but I need to be awarded. If Joe falls, this whole show predicted his fall. Okay.
Can't you just call a car if you're Joe Rogan with 100
yes,
million? Like,
that's his problem.
No
this is why I'm starting to hate him. At first it was, hey, look at this idiot make blunders, ha ha ha. But now it's, I have $100 million. Fuck the homeless people. Fuck the law. I'll smoke where I want. I'll drink and drive. That's different than smoking weed where you're not supposed to. Drinking and driving, just look at the numbers. I'm not going to pull them up. He's above the law. He's above wearing masks. Remember that? And regardless of what you think about masks and the conspiracies, it's the attitude. Let's pretend it is real. Let's pretend not wearing a mask does spread COVID. Joe Rogan is taking that risk. He's saying, fuck the people. Joe Rogan is getting behind the wheel of a fast car while obliterated. And we'll see him on the show coming up. He doesn't care about anyone else anymore. That was a joke that I made about him. It's real now. What else will turn real? Let's hear some more. I'm sorry to scare you.
And we go downtown to the Three Forks restaurant, which is a good restaurant on Lavaca. And
just you and Joe?
And the comedian guy, I forget his name. Nia.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Nia. So there's Joe's guys are standing in the parking spot right in front of the restaurant. All right, here's Joe. All right, he just kind of docks his boat there. Everything's all taken care of.
He's
the
driving.
Private room in the back is set up. The whole restaurant is on its knees.
And by the way, we're not trying to cancel anybody. We're playing you the audio that they put out. We're not making things up. We're not trying to get anyone fired. We want these people working. I want them drunk driving. You think I care about human life? Don't get it twisted. I want people mowed down by car. Remember that Times Square thing where they drove through a crowd? I commissioned that. I don't care about human life either. I don't care about this, but you can't be Joe Rogan and do this. You just can't. Okay?
Ain't allowed.
It's called, I can't
Just
believe
be
the nerve.
self-aware.
It's called nerve.
Yes.
Listen, I do the show. I don't go out and do this stuff to people, okay? I don't go out to a Chinese family and start pulling my eyes as far as they'll go, mocking them, although, you know. So that's the difference, you know. You just can't. And I'm telling you, the people don't want
You should be the worst, most obnoxious version of yourself on the show, not off the show.
Yeah. And I'm telling you this, people don't like a man who has 100 million of the Earth's money. We just don't.
I know,
You
that's
don't
what
need
pushes it over the
You don't
edge.
deserve it. You don't need it. You're not doing anything good with it. You didn't earn it. It was a fluke. The people hate that because it is unfair. Okay? In a way. And so now everything you do is under the scope of, oh, you have $100 million? You better be fucking perfect. You better be fucking perfect then if you want that cash, because we'll take it away. Let's hear some more.
Oh, hello. He does roll. That's for sure. So a bit of royalty in the Joe posse. So when I got home, it was 11. The keeper was already asleep. So you're actually the first person I was able to tell anything about it. What happened?
Why isn't Redbar in public? You're suspicious of me now? It means I'm not going to go to a Target and start going, hi, everybody, we got a special on aisle 4. This is inside behavior. When I'm out in society, I act polite. I work with society. That's how you should be. Okay? This is a make-believe fictional show. When I go in public, I go, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I don't annoy people. I have respect for human beings, believe it or not.
Well, you still yell at them, but you don't call them the N-word.
Exactly. These people, they want to... Don't you understand the difference? Let's hear some more.
I know. How sad is that? Oh, those guys. Those guys indeed.
Classic.
I did bump up against something before we get into any Rona stuff or anything like that, which I actually tried out on Joe because he started... Oh, my God.
Listen.
He started about masks and lockdowns and...
Listen to this.
I'm like, oh, man, I got to get this guy off of this because I really didn't want to be...
Joe started talking about masks and corona and lockdown. He goes, dude, I got to get this guy off of this. It's interesting. Because I believe that he was equally responsible for this conversation. Throwing Joe under the bus. Let's send Joe this tape. In fact, I'm sure many of his friends will send it because it's going to be on Redbar. All right, let's see what happens next.
We had a couple of sound issues,
Jamie.
but that's
no, it doesn't
goes.
matter. I'm the perfect guest for that. You know, I just sat
Well,
here.
you're the perfect guest for the first podcast.
I just sat here and smoked your weed.
You have to be the first guest.
Yeah, well, thank.
Wait, what? You have to be the first guest? Bloop. And then you hear the uncorking of a whiskey bottle. So let's count this down. Is this the first time he drinks? We're not going to see them all, but we'll see enough to go over the .08 limit. From the Texas County State of Austin Police Governor. Listen to this.
I just sat here and smoked your weed.
You just smoked weed,
To be
and
the
then
first guest.
Yeah, well, thank you.
boop, taking some whiskey. Okay, let's pour that sucker out.
Yeah,
Here
and
in the new
it's
studio.
It really is an honor, and let me tell you, man,
honor to
I
have
am
you here.
so happy for you and so proud of what you've done.
Oh,
And you know, to get
totally. That's kind of the complete opposite of your tone on your own podcast. Kissing his ass on your own podcast. Joe was a mess, man. That guy sucks. Well, it was after the fact, so maybe he did think this way. I doubt it.
get to someone to put a fucking number on the value you've created with your show. That's like,
Let's not do that because that's just going to freak me out.
No, not
Whoa! So Joe doesn't like compliments because he feels extremely guilty knowing that I don't really deserve them. So this guy compliments him. And look, you could see the other people's heads getting the shot and stuff.
Ooh, it's disgusting. It's like seeing a spider's web.
This is really like if The Walking Dead had a Sega CD game and one of the characters was doing a talking to. All right, let's see this again.
with your show. That's like,
Let's not do that because that's just going to freak me out.
No, not at all. That's huge. You get exactly what you deserve.
Let's just
in life.
have a sip of whiskey and talk.
Right, but
Whoa! And look at his face. And that's a valid question. Like, you could just go, thank you so much. Yeah, it's exciting. You don't have to go, let's not do that. Let's just have a sip of whiskey and talk. And then you make this face. I had a grandpa with more stones than you.
I've also never really heard him act like this before. Have you?
I have many times, but not this many in a row. This really shows he's the man I always said he was. You know, I've picked out very small instances of this behavior throughout the years. And that's what I was highlighting. And now it's for all to see.
That's huge. You get exactly what you deserve.
Let's just
in life.
have a sip of whiskey and talk.
Right, but what I want to say is, you've made it. You know, this is a big move. You're not going like a television network. You know, this is not Hollywood.
It's way bigger and way more restrictive than at least in the television networks. The racists still live there, and in movie business, you had Harvey Weinstein. People, this is Spotify, home of the everyone here is half Asian, right? You can't find a white around. They're all half this, half that. They're all women who have no experience in entertainment, but they're half and half. So give them a camera operator role. Here.
You up. Fuck, this is something completely different. It's another app. It's like an app against another app. This is cool. You know, we see Netflix and Disney and Apple Plus and Amazon. You know, so there's all these different. I think that creates markets, and the place right now may be a high value, but place a value on content, and people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I'm not against any of that. I think that's very interesting and a very logical path, and I'm glad that it's happening to you.
They have a vested interest in the show, which is what other platforms didn't necessarily have. Like YouTube has always been great to us. I don't have any complaints really about YouTube. I think the real problem with YouTube
I thought they have like terrible censorship, and you can't even play one of your friends' videos on your own show. YouTube's been great to us. You know how I always say, Jamie, don't play that. Oh, God forbid we'll be canned. That's great to you. This is what I've always hated about Joe Rogan. I can't play a licensed video on YouTube because it'll be flagged in a minute. The live stream will go down. I'll get a strike on my channel. I'll be wiped out. So what do? I go over to redbarradio.net and I buy my own server and I pay my own money and I pay $98,000 a year for bandwidth so that I can play whatever I want without getting yanked. Joe Rogan, who has the money, abides the YouTube rules. And he goes, oh, we won't play it. And you've watched this. How many times? Joe Rogan can't even play a video of his hunter friends shooting an elk or a video of a bear scaring a car because YouTube will take them down. And I was going to say, YouTube is nothing but great. This is your free speech guy, comedy. Look at this.
YouTube has always been great to us. I don't have any complaints really about YouTube. I think the real problem with YouTube is managing at scale.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're dealing with some ungodly number of videos that are constantly flooding into it. But they didn't really have an interest other than, I mean, they knew that the show was popular, but it's not like we were working together. You know, they just would take some of the ad revenue, but there was no like real. It was just a nice place where I could put it up. They can make some money. I can make some money. But something like Spotify is a different situation where they're like, let's do this together. We'll be together. So you'll be exclusive to here, and we want you to do well.
Where do I fit into this, Joe? Alex Jones walks in. Am I part of it? Oh, yeah. You and Gavin, all my favorites. You're a part of this.
Instead of having like a non-connected relationship, like a lot of people feel like with YouTube. Which is, again, I think it's because of managing at scale. They can't have a one-on-one relationship with everybody. It's not possible. Because so many fucking people have YouTube channels.
Right.
What is the number?
I don't know.
Do we skip ahead here?
Either just go to Google or 10 other companies and buy your location data.
Is the problem that we gave up the commodity of data? We gave it up.
No, we just need to be responsible and create.
That's another drink. You hear that? And that's a heavy one. Listen, this is what it sounded like. That was 32 milliliters of whiskey. And he's like, please drink. Let's all drink. Gobble, 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 gobble the flesh. I'm screwing it up. You know, Spotify could turn around and go, you know what? This is crud. You know, we're giving the show to somebody else. They could terminate the deal probably still. You know, he didn't get paid out in advance. It's over the course of a very long time. It's like one of those lottery winners. which is basically what he is. All right, do we skip ahead from here? This gets way worse, by the way. We haven't even gotten there yet.
Did you do 45? Yes.
That was 45.
You could go to 5330.
Ooh, okay, 5330. And let me give myself a hint. Okay, so these are all calamities. Wait till you see this 5330. He's so unhinged, so weird, and this will never end. Trust me. Look at his face. Is this leadership to you? I mean, even the deer and the elk are going, we got nothing to worry about, boys. We're free. The deer are hunting you now. Listen to this.
See, it's like cook them right in front of you, or I hate myself and I want Jack in the Box. Those are the questions that we need to answer.
Yeah.
Watch this.
I'm really only a Burger King or McDonald's guy.
Dude, my issue would be late at night coming home from comedy. If I was exhausted and tired, I did like 2 shows, the Irvine Improv, then I drove the
you would eat at Burger King and McDonald's all the time? I thought you were on the carnivore diet and you only ate healthy. Interesting. You know, this guy plans to eat healthy, and then he eats like a kale shake once, and then McDonald's, Burger King, pasta, goes to a steakhouse, but tells people that he's on this diet. This is not so.
I'm going to stop at McDonald's and eat 3 fillet of fish like a fucking wolf. I need it.
Hey, man, are you going to miss your hang there at the comedy store?
It doesn't.
Okay, guys, this is where, first of all, he's never been on a diet for more than an hour. He's never been in ketosis, all of this. Because you watch his show for the last 5 years, he's been on a strict diet, right? But every day he tells a story about not being on the diet. Here's the part, though, that's going to make everyone go, okay, he's off. We're going to drink to this one, okay? Celebrate with me. Let's try to get his screw. I've had more to drink than him, by the way, today. Am I going to do what he's about to do? Let's find out. Thank you for being here on our final episode of Season 18.
Wow, I keep forgetting it's the big finale.
This is the big finale.
Any thoughts about this past season?
I thought it was great. I thought everybody was incredible. I loved the part with the nude pic leak was my... I'm kidding. Here we go. This is Adam Curry, Joe Rogan, and this is where it gets weird. Adam Curry's going to ask a legit question. Watch this.
I need it.
Hey, man, are you going to miss your hang there at the comedy store?
It doesn't exist right now, and it's currently banned. You know, it's not banned.
Crazy.
Alcohol.
All right, brother.
Alcohol
Cheers.
is somehow or another better than jokes.
Cheers.
Okay.
Oh, really, dude?
What the fuck? Guys. Hey, what about the Comedy Store? Aren't you going to miss it? Fuck that. The Comedy Store's over. You know what's not over? Alcohol. And then he drinks. Have you ever seen anything like this?
That's not appropriate for a podcast. That's appropriate
This
for
isn't
a party.
appropriate for a pre-drive. I mean, come on. Have you ever seen anybody this drunk? Watch this.
Comedy store?
It doesn't exist right now, and it's currently banned. You know, it's not banned.
Crazy.
Alcohol.
All right, brother.
Alcohol
Cheers.
is somehow or another better than jokes.
And then this pussy goes, all right, brother. Yeah, cheers to that. I'm afraid of you like every other guest. I would go, shut the fuck up. You can talk about the Comedy Store closing. What's going on?
I know.
What's going on? Even Aaron Berg is suspicious at this point.
There's something else going on, he claims.
This is weird stuff, man. And you're supposed to be mature. This is a father. I can't imagine my dad acting like this ever. Ever.
My dad is the exact same every single time
Yes.
I've talked to him since birth.
And you could rely on their behavior.
Exactly.
You don't. Like, if my dad acted like this, I'd be like, I'm all alone.
Have you
I'm
ever had a
all alone.
conversation with your dad where he started doing something where you were like, whoa, what is your deal? Never.
Never
once.
And if he did, it would deeply disturb me to a point where I feel like I'm lost and I have no one. Okay, so that's when I see a dad act like this, I get mad. You have a responsibility to that. Mark that. We got to edit that out of the YouTube version. That's not going to make... He has a half-black daughter. She's very nice. You have a responsibility to these people you're putting into the world. You can't work like this. When I see Joe Matarese behave the way he does, or any of these fathers, Bert Kreischer, You must start being responsible because you're sending these kids into our world. No wonder we have so many problems. The dads of the world are responsible.
It's true.
It doesn't exist right now, and it's currently banned.
Sorry about that.
You know, it's not banned. Alcohol.
All right, brother.
Alcohol
Cheers.
is somehow or another better
For the
than
YouTube
Joe.
version, we'll just have it go beep. People, what was he saying? What could it have been? Could it have been? That's going to all be beep too. They're going to be so curious.
Folks.
Cheers.
People are drinking themselves to death and hanging themselves from ceiling fans.
So I need
But
to
in
talk to you. I
California,
need to talk
they're
to you
like,
about
shut it
the
down.
division part because we can do something about
I
this.
think we can. And
the division part.
Wow. I mean, this is a lot. Look at how he's looking down. He can't answer a simple question. I mean, this is truly a pathetic performance. What do we have next? That was a big one, though.
Yes.
We haven't seen Rogan. I mean, come on. The Comedy Store, which you guys infected our minds with for the last 18 years, bragging and bragging and bragging. You know, the whole world gravitated to the Comedy Store because of what these comedians promoted it as. And now it's just, fuck the Comedy Store. You
And
know what's
can't
good
you
now?
open up
Alcohol.
About that thing, it's like you're trying to drag your audience over to a whole new platform. They like you for being this guy who will talk about anything.
Yeah.
Can't you're avoiding talking about everything else? Can't you just?
That's what I mean. He's in
open
this
up about
hole.
this?
He can't talk about the Spotify in a correct way. He can't talk about the censorship in the correct way. Can't talk about this fleeing the city where he's leaving all these people behind. This is his biggest fuck up role ever in his life. I mean, he really had it together. And you know what? He knows, because this was the old Rogan. Before that podcast started, before he started smoking weed, he was a mess. He would choke people out. He had anger issues. We've watched all these tapes. He's reverting to the old him, which at his age, again, you're a dad and a family man first and foremost. This should be out of your system. This petty, childish, Patrick Melton doesn't even act this irresponsible at this point, and that's a solo guy lost in the world. So, okay, what time do we go to next here?
We can go to 5410.
5410.
And you'll know this one when you hear it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's right here. We're right here. 5408. Let's see what happens.
Shut it
the
down.
The division part, because we can do something about
I
this.
think we can. And
the division part.
I'm reluctantly coming to the acceptance that this.
And people ask, why are you doing this? I've got one answer for you. Jealousy. That's it. Haterade and jealous. This is why I spend all these hours with all this correct information. Okay, what do we have? Keep playing here.
Yes.
This is a jealous thing.
Stupid fucking show that I created a long time ago with Brian Redbar and young Jamie Vernon has some sort of social responsibility. Because
here we go.
I mean, it's the amount of people that listen. I'm a moron. You're not supposed to be taking advice from me.
Okay, finally. Do you guys see? So all these videos I'm making, I'm right. He admitted it. He's a moron. You shouldn't be listening to him. This is what he said. I say this and you go, you're jealous, you're a hater. This isn't true. He's saying it now. Can I have some money or something? Can somebody...
At least an apology.
Every
would be
Redbar
nice.
YouTube video should start with Joe Rogan going, I'm a moron. Don't listen to me. And then I come on. People need to be, because they talk to me as if I'm off my rocker. I've been telling you this for years.
I'm a moron. You're not supposed to be taking advice from me. If I connect you to people that are interesting, congratulations. But trust me, I, like you, am trying to figure my own things out. If I'm 13 steps ahead in terms of
This is what I'm going to play to the judge when I get sued or something. Joe Rogan said that everything I said was right. Oh, my God. We're so sorry, Mike. Here's the keys to my car. The judge throws me his keys. Thanks, Judge.
It's a BMW.
The cops hand me their gun, and they bow to me, and they unfold it out of an American flag. Here's our weapon. We want you to have all the toys that the cops have. Okay, that's my dream. Whenever I'm right, the police give me their guns and money. Here.
We're running a marathon, 13 steps ahead of you or 13 steps behind. We're all doing the same thing. We're all just trying to get better. Wherever we are at any point in time, We're trying to get better. And the best thing that anybody could ever encourage you to do is think for yourself.
Oh.
Use real critical thinking. Don't connect yourself because...
Look at how smashed he is. And he's going to get into a car. Vroom! Down the avenue. You want this guy? This is the last thing you're going to see before your daughter's head slices off through the windshield. Because he needed to go fast. He loves muscle cars. Because of the sound.
Look, people drive by me with American flags. I'm a sucker. Okay, I'm a sucker for America. I love America.
Watch this part.
My grandparents came here from Italy. They had a great goddamn time. They created my mom. They created me and my sister. We are Americans. So I see that.
This is insane. We are American. They created me. The mom, the dad, the Italian. You're Italian. You have no business here. We're American. They created me. Okay. Adam Curry is coming up with his show notes for his podcast right now in his head. Here.
My mom, they created me and my sister. We are Americans. So I see that flag. I'm like, fuck yeah.
America, baby.
Fucking America.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would say this is considered black enough with all this soot, with all this gray scale. That's black enough. Throw him in jail. He's black, Your Honor. Let's see some more.
But I think there's a problem with any kind of teams. There's a problem with anytime we...
Oh, wow. He was blasted by dry ice, apparently, there. Look at this blast. This is what happens when your studio isn't set up properly. Look at Joe's face. Watch what happens. No, he's not in a haunted house or a children's bar mitzvah dance floor. Watch his face.
There's a problem with any kind
Watch
of
this.
teams. There's a problem with anytime we...
Wow, is this a Prince music video? No, that's smoke. He's being vaped to death.
At each other like I'm a this and you're a that, so fuck you. And I think this is what we need to abandon. We need to abandon our attachments to ideologies, even ideologies that we haven't recognized as ideologies. Like whatever the fuck it is.
I just can't believe we're going to watch all of our favorite guys in this room. You know, we've got who's that autistic weirdo who always wears a suit coming up?
Lex Friedman.
Can
I read a comment from Xander?
Yeah, show him this because remember, we're going to see all of our favorites in this weird room. I'm guessing he's not going to get his groove back for a while. It could be the real end. I mean, it's hard when you're not self-aware, when you're not tuned in. You could lose your footing, and you could never get it back. Especially when everybody is on edge and the show's too big and there's $100 million and Spotify. Everyone's nervous. We're in this weird room where we can't relax. Joe's freaking out. Everyone's sweaty. The lights are in your eyes. This could really be the disaster I've always hoped for. Look at Joe.
Is it a...
Oh, man.
Is it a...
Whoa! Instead of J-O-E, it's W-O-E. Whoa! The Whoa Rogan experience. I got to see this again. This was an awkward moment. Look at this.
Thing for their own power, left and right.
Watch show. Wow. In that silence, as Joe just going, look at this. His fucking teeth are about to fall out of his face. Does this look like a man who should be behind the wheel of a 1993 911 Turbo with no valid suspension and bad brakes? Cruising down the avenue towards a restaurant? Give me my keys. I'm fine. And I've never driven a truck. Let's see what he says next.
Is it a...
Oh, man.
Is it
So
a...
you know he's drunk. You're aiding and abetting a drunk driver in your own hometown. They could kill your children.
Scott Loveless says, done, JRE.
Done, JRE, instead of run, JRE. This is being put on YouTube, sir. Your old job. Here.
Is it a...
Oh, man.
Is it a...
Wow.
That was an excellent joint I smoked earlier.
It's very good.
Oh,
very
God.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Whoa.
Congratulations.
But they are both being weird. Remember Adam trying to pin this all on Joe? He is being like, can't you keep that in, bro?
Let's see this again while we zoom into Joe's destroyed face. Now, again, this is cool. This is kettlebells every day. This is swings. Thank God I never got into kettlebells. If this is what it ultimately ends up as. So cool. I'm glad you spent all those days in the gym. It really paid off. All the isolation chambers you've gone into, the deep freezes, the Encino Man stuff that you've done to your body. For what? To be stupider than my grandpa who's dead? What a waste.
Excellent joint I smoked earlier.
Look at very good. Very good stuff.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is it possible that we're in this weird state with people because we've decided that we're losing power in other aspects of our life, so we're getting more and more determined to take it back in other places? Because the fact that so many people have been denied the ability to make a living. I mean, it's kind
Look at his face. This is not the Rogan I wanted. Here. Oh, man. One of the band. One of the people that Rogan censored himself, my old friend. Well, you'll hear.
Both lived to 98, my paternal grandparents.
The reason why I brought up Gavin is that I think that
Gavin McInnes.
I have had a couple podcasts.
I'm looking at a solid 7.6.
He's on the soundboard. He hates my guts. He wants me dead. And his army of Proud Boys are out at my house with tiki torches every week. It's a terrible, I can't go outside. I can't use my property. He's going to bring up Gavin. One of his favorites. One of the episodes that are missing. One of his favorites. And by the way, in that episode, Gavin says, dude, drunk driving is so fun. And Joe goes, dude, don't say that. Drunk driving is horrible. I hate. Find it. Go to the I think that's important for now. Gavin McInnes episode, the one where he's wearing a white Colonel Sanders style suit, and type in the words drunk driving or just drunk. And you're going to see Gavin brag about how he drunk drives, and Joe almost start crying and telling him how wrong it was, even though Joe drunk drives now in Austin, Texas. And we have that clip coming up. I could prove everything that I say, and everything that I say can be proven. You're going to love this. So Joe Rogan has turned basically into Gavin McInnes is now a nicer person all around than Joe. All right. And Gavin, of course.
So you want to be able to drunk drive?
Whoa. Look how much better this studio is from 5 years ago. All right, here's Gavin looking amazing, doing well, and let's hear what they're talking about.
Could fuck up my green card and shit like that.
Oh, so you want to be able to drunk drive? So that's why you want an American citizenship?
That's not why, but I do thoroughly enjoy drunk driving. I think it's...
Really?
Yeah. Do you
Really?
drive drunk?
No.
You don't?
Oh, really, dude?
This is a masterpiece. I should be getting. This is like Barbara Walters' 60. Me and Jules did this all ourselves. All
It's
of this.
true.
Well, with the help of some head.
It was mostly you.
What a piece. Do you hear this? Do you drive drunk? No.
Drunk driving. I think it's...
Really?
Yeah. Do you
Really?
drive drunk?
No.
It's the best. It's like playing a
What?
video game.
Oh, come on, man.
I don't mean blackout, but 7 beers, that's a fun little drive.
God damn, dude. That's really drunk. Like, you're...
Wow. You're way more drunk than 7 beers. You've had 7 whiskeys, and we haven't even gotten to past the first hour. Guys, I'm almost like, maybe Joe, hey, Joe, I'll delete this episode for $20 million. It's up to you. How about that? Blackmail. Framing. Not framing. Give me money, or this gets out. How about this just gets out? Look what I put together.
But 7 beers, that's a fun little drive.
God damn, dude. That's really drunk. Like, your fucking reaction time's terrible. If something happens, you could slam right into things.
Oh!
Drunk driving is a myth.
Wow. What do you mean it's a myth? What does that mean?
I mean, the world wouldn't be better if... the world wouldn't change if it was made legal. People would not... People don't jeopardize their
Maybe he convinced Joe that drunk driving is cool. Now, Gavin was kidding, even though Gavin does drunk drive.
People keep mentioning another incident a John Jones thing where Joe Rogan said something?
I don't know,
driving,
but listen, I think we've stated our case. So let's go back to this. He's obviously more hammered than Gavin's literal doors trying to keep Antifa out. Let's see what he does next.
The reason why I brought up Gavin is that I think that I have had a couple podcasts with him, and people have had like weird conversations with me about it.
I've had a couple of the podcasts that haven't been ported over to Spotify. How can you even speak about those until they're up? Your favorite episodes, by the way, where you got into a fight with him about drunk. That's your favorite episode where you came on and said drunk driving was cool and you almost cried? That's why it's not on Spotify?
A couple podcasts with him, and people have had like weird conversations with me about it. And I've said, this is one of the things that I've said, I was like, look, that guy's mostly fun. Yeah. Mostly fun. And like anybody.
Mostly fun? Let's cut to an aerial view of the streets. Does this look fun? One of his posse held a gun at a man's head yesterday for being black. Well, I don't know if that's true, but...
Oh, yeah, didn't someone just
here,
post
let's
a
cut.
BBG?
Here, what? Wait, for the YouTube video. Let's cut to Gavin McInnes's fun. And then it's going to show clips of Proud Boys beating people up, blood all over the streets.
Them, like, kicking the shit out of some guy.
The whole world has been destroyed by the Prouds and Antifa equally. But come on. Gavin's mostly fun. Boom! And then it shows... the whole world fighting in the road.
You have to do the snap back before you start talking again.
And we're back. Did you like that footage of what Gavin McInnes has brought to society? Here's more.
That guy's mostly fun. Yeah. Mostly fun. And like anybody that does wild shit, you can get lost in the woods. And if you get lost in the woods of race or whether or not people should be able to do drugs, or whether or not people should get paid a minimum wage that's a livable wage. You get lost in the woods in any ideology, and it becomes a problem.
Well, you need to get lost in the woods on your next hunting trip. It's time. Ah! That's the elk shooting Joe in the head. All right, what do we have next here? Let's hear that again. Now that you know it's coming, it's very stupid.
People are like, he's a supporter of Gavin McInnes. I'm a supporter of human beings.
They got triggered 2 hours ago.
I'm also a supporter of people that are radically left-wing that I don't agree with.
Wow.
You are?
You are? Because that's a violation of our trust. Not mine, but the people. You're a supporter of all, huh? Murderers, con man, thieves, Spotify, Bernie. Bernie and Spotify don't go hand in hand, I'll tell you that.
I think a lot of them just need hugs. We need to be embraced by our community. So, and we dig our heels in, and we fight against anyone that we think opposes our safety, our security, and our comfort.
You wear heels? Admitted! He's got lifts. We dig our heels into things. Why are you wearing heels? For height reasons? You want to be taller.
In our ability to feel loved and to be happy.
Here's where you in particular can change the world.
Okay. Please. There's nothing. Please. I don't want him changing the world. Okay? Where do we go next? Do we keep playing?
You could go to 1:45:10.
Yeah, because I want to see if he's still drunk at the end. Because remember, he's going right out to that Italian restaurant to eat his pasta while on a health kick, of course.
Healer. And he was killed by his son, ran him over with a car, took over the business.
Drunk.
Okay. And started promoting the idea that,
with magnets?
That adjusting people's backs to fix like fucking leukemia and shit.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
Blindness.
Look at this.
You just pop people's back. It was lunacy. But I think, what if maybe they were on to something accidentally? It is possible.
Well, that's like my applied kinesiology, which you don't believe in.
I think I just put in this part to show that he's slurring.
Oh, yeah, he's about to hurl. Absolutely. Swallowing his own shit. All right, is that it?
1:49:35 is the last time code that we watched.
So if you have anything past 1:49:35, send it in. We haven't gotten here, believe it or not. We did our best. So much to watch. So little, well, there's a lot of time. But
I mean,
use it.
this is insanely hard to watch. I had to wake up in the middle of the night
Yeah, it really
screaming to shut it off because Satan kept on coming out of the screen and into my bed.
Let's see what happens here. 1:49:30. This is another awkward moment.
These people, you've been around very successful people. A lot of them are illiterate, can't even write a fucking email, but they get incredibly wealthy and successful because they have.
Use you are.
Excuse me.
You are instead of your.
Whoa! Oh yeah. Look at him. Does this look like? I mean, he couldn't even handle a compound bow right now. He'd shoot his eye out. He'd aim it at himself. You ever seen somebody stretch a bow backwards right into their face? Look at this guy. You know about people that write you are? Excuse me? You are? I am what? No, you are. It's a new Who's on First Abbott and Costello style routine. Watch this again. He's talking about the word you are.
Literate.
Yep.
Can't even write a fucking email. But they get incredibly wealthy and successful because they have.
Use you are.
Excuse me?
You are instead of your. That's an issue.
Okay. I'll have one hiccup and the world wants me dead. Joe Rogan's allowed to do this and then get into a Sportster.
Instead of your. That's an issue. When someone really smart.
You know why Joe likes that 911 Turbo so much from Porsche? Because it's a giant SUV to him. It's the biggest car. Very small car. Joe Rogan probably has a Boxster. Remember those?
Yeah.
Exactly. They send you an email that says
these,
you are instead of
these
why
incredibly,
you are or why are you.
Yeah, or there with EI.
Yeah.
So these people, the elites of the world,
Okay,
which is...
So that's all we saw. If anyone has any more, Coach, should we skip to the end?
Spiders don't give a fuck who they catch. They catch birds, bro. Tweet.
It's time.
Did you want to hear this comment?
Yeah.
Who New York says, Jules, John Jones is considered the greatest UFC fighter of all time. A few years ago, he had a DUI hit and run. He ran into a car with a pregnant woman. He also had drugs in the car. He came on JRE to talk about it, and Rogan said he's wealthy enough to hire a driver and not drive drunk.
Wow.
The irony.
Should we play the clip? Or
He didn't send the clip. He just told me the story.
He didn't send the clip. You got to take his word for it. Let's hear some
I
more
trust him.
about Charlotte's Web.
Tweety birds.
Well, maybe isn't that socialism? They all catch one bird and they eat it.
I don't think so. I think they eat each other eventually. Like female black widows.
Anyway,
they kill the male.
There's many ways to connect and organize through the.
Shame on anyone who gave this a thumbs up on YouTube and said, "You're killing it, Joe. Amazing job." Andrew Schultz, Annie Lederman, who's being a complete obnoxious asshole lately. Whitney Cummings. Go, Joe! Okay, let's cut to the end and just see how they get out of this. We never saw the ending here, so it ends at 3:17. Let's just cut to 3:15 and see how they get out of it. Is Joe sobered up? Let's find out. Gallagher.
And
Gallagher.
Like the pig doesn't want to come out. Like, boop, 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 boop. Like, I know what you're doing. I'm good with it. I like the idea. I'd love to see people who have MS or ALS.
Oh, you do.
Brain is not Parkinson's, whose brain is not communicating the functions to be able to keep those going. Because I think that's the initial application, and that's fantastic.
Right.
But am I interested in?
He is tweaking the fuck out now. He's got. I don't like to bring attention to this because it's so terrible. He's got a Twitch thing going on. But this is like, did he twitch this much on his first appearance with Rogan? I mean, he's vibrating like Brendan Schaub's baby. He could power a bumper car with all that action. Let's keep it playing. Let's see how they get out of this.
Is Jamie sleeping?
Is Jamie sleeping? Is Jamie sleeping?
I am very interested in the application of direct interfacing. I'd like to be able to just go, I just want to do my email.
Right.
Like that. I want to,
you are not qualified to operate email. Seriously.
This happens because he's right. The interface between our brains
Twitch stream,
and the
network,
the whole community, the world, is actually going from 10 fingers to 1 or 2 with our phones. I like the idea of upping
Let's see how they wrap this. This is going to be funny.
But I would like to be able to make sure I can turn it off and I have control when I want it.
But doesn't it sort of go in line with what we were talking about? Like people have only been talking.
So
for a
he's
short
still
amount of time.
trashed.
Sure.
Like
Sure.
before people were talking, it was just grunts. And
Pull up
pointing.
that. Get me the time code for when he says, and then we got into Joe's car and drove off. Because I want to end it with that again. I need you to hear that this is true.
Yeah, pictures.
Trying to figure out how to kill the
emojis.
deer.
In a way, we're going back. We went from emojis on the wall to emojis on text. Ugh, smiley face, puke emoji, mask emoji. Blah.
But you get it.
Right?
You
So
do get it.
that's an abstraction of language.
Someone sends you a yellow fist.
So that is actually how computer code works.
Yeah.
Computer code is binary. You got an assembler on top
Binary,
of it.
yeah.
You got maybe an interpreter. You got a scripting language, and then it's almost English. And before you know it,
You'll be scarred for life. You'll be
put these two emojis together. You know exactly what I mean.
That is crazy.
So when you get
right?
when you get the raindrops with the
it is crazy.
with the fucking what is that thing
See how they say it?
the eggplant.
Yeah.
Then you know what I mean,
You know,
Joe
it's
Rogan.
dick
Not
and
answering my
wet
text.
pussy.
Not
Wait a
answering my.
minute. Adam Curry's podcast starts off with him going, "You'll be scarred for life."
Whoa.
After this episode, you will be. Join my fabulous Scars Club. Look at that. He even said it on the sign. Eerie, huh? redbarradio.net/scabs. Scars. Let's see how this wraps up. And then we're going to, again, play his podcast where he says, we got into Joe's car. We drove right to the Oriental Chinese restaurant. Here.
Not answering my eggplant water emoji
There's
text.
something about eggplant and water emojis. Like, that's a bold move. Like,
Followed by peach emoji.
Exactly. But you could bring that to court, and people will be like, "I don't see anything wrong here."
I don't know what's
the guy
going-
likes fruits and
What is
vegetables.
he trying to tell me
He's
here?
clearly a vegan who likes surfing.
That's another benefit of the phone, the flip phone. I can't really do emojis.
Yeah,
Not
that's a
much
good
going
move.
on. Not going on.
Adam Curry, shall we wrap this up?
Yeah, Joe
Let's see.
Rogan, thank you so much, man. Again,
Wow,
welcome
this
to
is
Texas.
the
Welcome
maiden
to
voyage.
Austin.
Here at the spaceship.
You've got yourself
Here we go.
a beautiful.
Take
Thank you
another
very much.
drink.
We did it. We did it.
Welcome to Texas.
Thanks, man.
And
Thank
then
you.
you're going to go to
Welcome
dinner with him? That's
One
insane.
Here at the new place. Young Jamie, you're a bad motherfucker. You put it together.
You're bad. Yeah, he admitted it. You're
Shout out
bad.
to Jew T for the desk. Matt Alvarez for the place.
Look at this.
All right.
Epic
bye.
fail.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Take the drive of shame. All right, so the episode ends. And now, let's hear what happened directly after Joe was hammered.
We wrap up the show, and Joe says, "Oh, we got to go to dinner. There's a comedian buddy of his was in town. I forget the guy's name. Nia. And he's currently at the Dave. Did you know that Dave Chappelle is doing basically a comedy club? I think every weekend in Ohio, outdoors.
Shut up. Get to the point.
He lives in Ohio.
Yeah, I know he does. I know, but he's got a lot. He's got David Letterman.
I'm
Jon
doing a video
Stewart,
here for YouTube. Come on.
Bill Burr, all of these kind of the whole LA comedian scene. They're all out there every weekend doing shows. It's sold out for, I don't know, the next 3 months, but they're actually doing shows.
That.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know it. I didn't know anything about it.
Right after the show,
and then you go to dinner with Joe Rogan. That's kind of rolling with the Rogan. Here, I'll drive. So we drive in his car.
Oh, here, I'll drive. So we drive in his car. Guys, thank you so much for allowing me to state my case. I think I've done it once again.